In our previous video, we posed a tricky question. How many kidneys does a typical person have? And the correct answer is: most people have 2 kidneys, but a person can live a healthy life with just 1 functioning kidney. They say washing vegetables, boiling water, and cooking meat is enough to avoid E. coli. But is that really true? Some of the biggest E. coli outbreaks in America didn't come from beef or lettuce, but from everyday foods you thought were completely safe. Today, I'll take you through 35 quiz questions, and here's your warning: more than half of viewers fail the easiest ones. Are you sure you'll be different? Are you ready? Let's begin now. What does E. coli stand for? E. coli normally lives in the gut. Most strains are harmless and aid digestion. Some strains carry Shiga toxin stack, for example, O157H7, and can cause bloody diarrhea and kidney complications. The infectious dose is low, as few as 10/100 organisms, which is why hand and kitchen hygiene matter so much. The E. coli O157H7 strain most often spreads through which food? Ground beef is riskier than intact cuts because surface bacteria get mixed throughout. Cooked to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Celsius, internal use, a thermometer. Leafy greens can also be implicated, but ground beef has a strong outbreak history. Skip medium rare burgers. E. coli can spread through which route? Can you guess it? Leave your answer in the comments, we'll reveal it in the next video. What is the most common symptom of E. coli infection? Stec diarrhea often involves cramping and may become bloody. Fever can be mild or absent. Watch for dehydration in seniors. Thirst, low urine output, dizziness, dry mouth, skin tenting. Start oral rehydration early. Seek care if there's blood in stool or high fever. How long is the incubation period for E. coli? Symptoms typically begin 3-4 days after exposure range, 1-10 days. That's why recalling the exact culprit meal is hard. Review foods and water sources from the prior week. Which serious complication can E. coli cause in seniors? HUS is the triad of hemolytic anemia, thrombocytopenia, and acute kidney injury, sometimes requiring dialysis. It can develop about a week after diarrhea onset. Young children and adults is greater than or equal to 65 are higher risk. Red flags: decreased urination, swelling, extreme fatigue, pallor, jaundice. Which water source has the highest risk of E. coli contamination? Untreated spring or well water may carry E. coli from animal runoff. Bring to a rolling boil for is greater than or equal to 1 minute is greater than or equal to 3 minutes at high altitude. For camping, use an approved filter plus disinfection or boil. Which of the following is not a common source of E. coli? Properly cooked poultry, 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius, kills E. coli. Remaining risk is cross-contamination, knife, board, counter, or poor hand washing. Unpasteurized juices and raw produce can be contaminated via manure, irrigation, wash well, and separate raw from ready-to-eat foods. How can E. coli infection be prevented? Prevention pillars: 1. Correct temps ground beef, 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Celsius. Poultry, 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. 2 to 0 second hand washing. 3. No cross-contamination separate boards. Sanitize surfaces. For leafy greens, rinse under running water. Never soak with raw meat. Should healthy people take antibiotics for E. coli diarrhea? If STAC is suspected bloody diarrhea, severe cramps, often no high fever, avoid antibiotics. They can trigger Shiga toxin release and increase HUS risk. Focus on oral rehydration, track urine output, and dehydration signs. Exceptions: some non-STAC, for example, ETAC, traveler's diarrhea, may warrant antibiotics only if prescribed. Avoid loperamide when there's fever or blood. What is the most serious complication STEC can cause in seniors? In STEC use, tiny clots block kidney filters, reducing blood filtration and causing acute kidney failure. Seniors face higher risk due to aging vessels, kidneys. Signs: little or no urination, ankle swelling, fatigue. How does STEC E. coli infection usually affect body temperature? Unlike many gut infections, STEC often causes no high fever, leading patients and even doctors to underestimate the danger. Which group is most at risk of severe complications from E. coli? Seniors, transplant patients, cancer patients, and those on immunosuppressants are more likely to develop severe infections and complications due to weak immune defenses. Which food is a dangerous source of E. coli for seniors? Soft cheeses made from unpasteurized milk can harbor E. coli and other pathogens like Listeria. Seniors should avoid completely. How is abdominal pain from E. coli typically described? STEC cramps often don't ease after bowel movements and may cause sweating and pallor. It's a warning sign for urgent evaluation. Which stool sign is a dangerous warning in suspected E. coli infection? About 30–50% of STEC cases develop bloody stools within 1–3 days of diarrhea onset. This is a strong suspicion sign requiring stool testing. Should patients with suspected E. coli diarrhea take anti-diarrheal medicine immediately? Many believe diarrhea must be stopped quickly to prevent dehydration. But in toxin-producing E. coli, anti-diarrheal drugs trap bacteria, toxin longer, raising HUS risk. Debate continues as some doctors still prescribe them in mild cases, but CDC advises against if STEC is suspected. When do E. coli outbreaks most often occur? E. coli outbreaks peak in warm, humid weather when bacteria grow faster and outdoor dining is more common. Which activity carries a high risk of E. coli infection? Swallowing dirty water from lakes or poorly treated pools can cause E. coli infection. Which barbecue dish carries the highest E. coli risk? Meat left at room temperature during outdoor events lets E. coli multiply. Seniors should stick to thoroughly cooked servings. How long should you wash your hands with soap to reduce E. coli risk? Proper hand washing is the most effective way to prevent E. coli. Scrubbing hands for at least 20 seconds under running water, covering palms, backs, between fingers, and under nails removes most bacteria from the skin. What is the safe internal cooking temperature for ground beef to kill E. coli? E. coli can survive at lower temperatures, so ground beef must reach at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Celsius, in the center to ensure complete bacteria destruction. Which kitchen habit helps avoid E. coli cross-contamination? Cross-contamination is a common way bacteria spread from raw meat to cooked food. Using separate cutting boards and knives for raw meat helps reduce this risk. Which is the safest travel water choice to avoid E. coli? Properly sealed bottled water is usually treated and safe, avoiding the risk of bacteria from untreated local water sources. How should raw vegetables be prepared before eating to reduce E. coli risk? Running water washes away dirt and bacteria more effectively than soaking, reducing the chance of E. coli clinging to vegetable surfaces. How long can E. coli survive in the refrigerator? Cold temperatures only slow E. coli growth. They don't kill it. The bacteria can survive in a refrigerator for weeks. Which milk type should be avoided to reduce E. coli risk? Raw, unpasteurized milk can contain E. coli and other harmful bacteria. Seniors should avoid it completely for safety. After recovering from E. coli, how long should you avoid preparing food for others? Bacteria may still be present in stool and spread through hands or utensils for days after symptoms resolve. Can E. coli be transmitted through pets? Pets can carry E. coli in their intestines. Contact with contaminated feces or surfaces can transmit the bacteria to humans. When camping, what is the safest way to treat stream water? Boiling is the surest way to kill E. coli and other bacteria. At high altitudes, boil for at least 3 minutes. Which food is the safest regarding E. coli risk? Properly boiled food kills bacteria, while raw or unpasteurized products carry higher risks of E. coli. Why shouldn't you wash raw meat before cooking? Water splashes from washing raw meat can spread E. coli to sinks, counters, and nearby utensils, causing cross-contamination. How should cooked meat be stored to avoid E. coli contamination? Cold storage slows bacterial growth, but cooked and raw foods must still be kept separate to avoid cross-contamination. Should people who had severe E. coli avoid beef for life? There's no scientific reason to avoid beef forever after severe E. coli. The key is cooking to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Celsius, and avoiding cross-contamination. Fear after illness often leads to total avoidance. After using the toilet, which step is most important to prevent E. coli spread? Soap and water remove bacteria more effectively than hand sanitizer, especially after contact with stool or restroom surfaces. Congratulations, you've completed the quiz. Here are your results. What's your level? Drop it in the comments below. No matter your score, remember, a single moment of carelessness in the kitchen could cost you weeks in the hospital. Share this video so more people can protect themselves. And don't forget to subscribe for more health knowledge that keeps you safe every day.